Today we're going to talk about Vinland Saga and why it's a must-watch for everybody in the household, no matter age or gender. If you're new to my channel, right, I make a bunch of videos about cinema, movies, TV shows, whatever. I'm not a big anime guy, okay, I'll be the first to tell you, but this one is different and it is a must-watch for everybody, so let's get into it. Now, there is going to be some major spoilers if you haven't seen it. However, it's not going to matter, okay? I feel like even if you know what happens in the show, going into it, my video's not going to do it justice, okay? But you've been warned. Now, our story takes place in the 11th century during the brutal age of the Viking, where our story involves us following a young boy named Thorfinn, the son of Thors. Now, this is Thorfinn's father, Thors, right? He is a legendary warrior, also known as the Troll of Yam. And while the legend of him holds a lot of weight still to this day, he left the life of bloodshed behind, and he believes a warrior no longer needs a sword. Thorfinn, though, too little to understand that, dreams of the battlefield. He dreams of that glory of a true warrior like his father has, like everybody paints the picture, right? He just wants to be like his father, right? Go on the battlefield, have true glory. Now, his dream gets shattered when his father is murdered in front of him. Roll the clip.
Who is Thor's the troll?
That brings us to Askeladd, the man who essentially killed his father. This man right here, now even though he did kill Thors, right, he's very philosophical. He understands the way of life, and he has a big respect for Thors.
Dumb fucking brat. Cherish each breath from this day on. And be thankful that Thor's fought for you. Because the death of a man like that is worth 100 young fools.
Right, so I just wanted to show you, be thankful Thor's fought for you. A death of a man like that is worth 100 of people like you, right? He respects him dearly. Now, what's interesting is the last interaction that Thorfinn and his father Thors had, okay?
Release my child this instant.
Father! Father!
You see how heartbroken Thorfinn is, and that was essentially their last encounter with each other because Thors died, right? And one of the last things his dad mentions to him is that a warrior does not need a sword. Now, mind you, young Thorfinn, okay, a little kid who dreams big, wants all the glory, wants to be in battle, wants to be a real Viking, right? He doesn't understand that. It's not clocking with him, right? He doesn't understand. What are you talking about? A warrior doesn't need a sword. So he kind of brushes it off, but he does question it, like you see here.
Why did you throw your sword? To say a warrior doesn't need one.
Now, that specific quote holds a lot of weight throughout the whole show, so you need to remember it. A warrior does not need the sword. He questions it, right, but he's young. He brushes it off. So now he vows not to return home, not to return back to his family. He's going to go out and try to kill Askeladd in the name of his father because he thinks his father's a true warrior, and that's what his father would want for him to be warrior too, to go get revenge in the name of him, right? So instead of returning home, Thorfinn, little Thorfinn, stows away on Askeladd's boat to try to seek out revenge, as you see here.
Cowards! How dare you! How dare you take a warrior like my father! I'm gonna kill you for that! I'll be the last thing you see! I'll kill you! Do you hear me? I'm gonna kill you!
Notice how everybody on that ship is laughing at Thorfinn except for Askeladd because he knows he's not stupid. He's probably the only smart one there. He understands it. So Thorfinn does exactly what he tries to set out to do. He attacks Askeladd, but he can't beat him, right? Askeladd's a full-grown adult. He's too big. He's too strong. He can't do it. He's a little kid. And Thorfinn tries time and time again to get Askeladd, but he just gets the better of them. I'll roll one of the clips now.
That's it. I've had enough of this. Besides, killing children is so barbaric.
No, Askeladd beats him duel after duel after duel. Like he said, he's not going to kill him. He's a child, right? Now, Thorfinn, miles and miles away from home, they're not going to leave him just in the wild. So they kind of essentially take Thorfinn under their wing, right? And obviously he's going to accept for multiple reasons. One, he's going to need food. He's going to need shelter, right? He's a little kid. He can't protect himself yet, okay? He has to learn how to fight. He doesn't know how to get home, right? And he wants to kill Askeladd. That is, his whole life's journey is to kill Askeladd, right? So boom, they take him in, okay? Now a few years go past and Thorfinn's bigger, stronger, smarter, right? Still young, but he's not 6 years old anymore, you understand? You could see he's essentially a teenager. And he becomes an unstoppable force for Askeladd, right? Irony. Yeah, this is actually them together, which I'm sure you know, but that's Thorfinn and Askeladd, the man who killed his father. He essentially raises him, right? But not directly, it's indirect. Let me explain. So you know Thorfinn's not going to go off on his own because he wants to kill Askeladd, right? But he can't yet, he needs to survive, whatever. Askeladd and his men, right, are something kind of like mercenaries, okay? Now, they duel many times, and Thorfinn can't beat Askeladd. Askeladd knows this, so he uses it to his advantage. And he says, okay, Thorfinn, you want to duel me? Go kill him. Go kill him. When we get back, we could do it. And he has no problem with that because he knows Thorfinn can't beat him. So he uses Thorfinn as a pawn in his game, right? It's all calculated. And in that, Thorfinn, from a young age, right, sees war, sees violence, everything he wanted. But it doesn't feel right because he's still with the man who killed his father. So he doesn't even realize what he's becoming, but he becomes something disturbing almost. Something like the Terminator, okay? You can't fuck with him. Unfuckwittable. I mean, he takes out armies, kings. He's just like a real deal assassin. Askeladd has no problem using him because he knows he can't beat him, right? And it doesn't even seem to affect Thorfinn. Like, the only thing he's focused on is revenge to the point he loses himself. He almost becomes soulless. He's just taking body after body after body. Him, and him. It don't matter. All for the chance to duel Askeladd, which he's going to lose anyway, right? And I want you to think about something. At this point in time, Thorfinn has spent more time with Askeladd than he has his own father. Because he's only had his father, Thoris, right? The real warrior, from what, newborn to 6. So at this point in time, he already has years longer with Askeladd than he has his own father. Essentially, Askeladd, the man he hates, right, is the one who raises him. So we're already at this point in time, right, and this is already like compelling as fuck. You understand? You're not gonna get this nowhere else. But listen, it doesn't end here. All right, so long story short, okay, Thorfinn spends years and years and years with Askeladd. Right? He never gets what he wants because he can never beat him at a duel. The whole time Thorfinn loses himself. He's used as a pawn. Literally a weapon of mass destruction, essentially, right? Now, he has to have, deep inside, while he might not admit it, some type of feelings other than hatred for Askeladd. I mean, the man was literally his father. Which, again, it's the man who killed his father, so it just makes it compelling. But again, you're going to have to watch the show for the full plot and full details. Long story short, I'm just going to skip over some things. Towards the end, okay, Askeladd is killed, right? He's killed. Not by Thorfinn, not in a duel. He's just killed. So, what happens to Thorfinn now? Try to put yourself in his shoes, okay? Try to understand, even if you wouldn't make the same decisions he did, try to understand from this character's perspective, okay? He's a little kid, full of light. He knows his father, the Troll of Yam, is the best warrior out there, right? He wants so much to be like his father, to be a good warrior, to kill as many people as possible, to see the battlefield, right? All that. All to see his father murdered in front of him. And then the last thing his father says to him is that a true warrior doesn't need a sword. Then you set out, right, to seek revenge, to kill the man who killed him. You stow away on his boat. He ends up raising you, right? But you won't admit, like, all you want to do is kill him, no matter how long it takes, right? And now, everything you set your life out on is taken away from you. You don't get to achieve that. He's killed right in front of you. There's nothing you could do about it. You literally just... Like, literally, I'm at a loss for words. Like, what do you even do at that point? You just lost everything. The only man you ever knew as a father, you lost. Everything you set out to do within yourself, your life's goal has just been lost. You haven't seen your family in years. They probably all think you're dead. So, like, what do you do now? Now we get a time jump some years later. This is Thorfinn, right? Years after Askeladd finds himself as a slave on a Danish farm. And I want you to think about how empty he has to be as a man, because as we said, everything was taken away from him. It happened at a young age. It happened again years later, right, with Askeladd's death. Now this man has nothing and has found himself in enslavement. What do you have at that point? You're hollow, you understand? But it is in this isolation he's able to reflect on himself and think about everything his real father taught him, everything he went through with Askeladd, and he understands that, yes, a real warrior does not need a sword, and he finds inner peace within himself. Now, while being a slave and still surrounded by violence, okay, he has a friend named Einar. And he could see, other people around could see the type of man Thorfinn is, the warrior he is, right, his tactical skill. So when he's all about peace, they're not understanding why, if he can move the way he does. Similar to when Thorfinn was a child, right, and his father was dying in front of him and told him a real warrior didn't need a sword, but he knows what a great warrior he actually is tactically. He doesn't understand it, right? Nobody's understanding it yet. Now again, he traded in his sword for a shovel, right? Now while he's a slave, he's working to earn his freedom. Now he meets with his friend Einar and they discuss life after slavery, right? And they dream of a place called Vinland, where you create, not destroy. And this isn't easy. He has to confront his past and understand that strength doesn't come from killing. It comes from the ability to, but not to. You understand? So what starts off as a story of war and revenge pretty much ends as a story of freedom, peace, meditation, right? The understanding that you have no enemies. Nobody in this world deserves your hatred. And eventually he does earn his freedom back working. He worked for it, right, as a slave, and him and Einar set out for Vinland, right? And the story essentially ends off there. But again, my video, my explanation of this plot breakdown isn't going to do it justice. You have to go watch for yourself. So now that I vaguely broke the plot down, right, let's talk about the lessons to pull from this show and why each and every single one of you need to watch it. You have to watch it, okay? Or you're going to be walking in circles. Let's get into it. Okay, lesson number 1, that revenge destroys the soul. Think about everything Thorfinn went through. The show shows you that revenge doesn't heal wounds, it keeps them open. You think it'll bring peace, but the true strength is in walking away, okay? And with that being said, lesson number 2, right? True strength is mercy, not violence. Thor said it best, right? A true warrior needs no sword. The strongest warrior isn't the one who wins the most battles. It's the one who is courage enough not to fight. The one to walk away, the strength, right? Because again, look at this. Super easy to kill, super easy. You have to move your finger like this on a gun, right? Or like this with a knife. Super easy to kill, right? The harder thing is to walk away. All right, lesson number 3. Freedom comes from within, okay? Even Thorfinn, when he's on the Danish farm, it just shows you, even in chains, you could be free if your heart isn't bound by hatred, okay? You have the power within yourself. The show also shows us that violence only brings more violence, okay? One fight only makes a new enemy, okay? One death brings another death, right? And anybody who's left to survive is left with a shell of themselves, okay? There are no survivors, even if you're breathing. Redemption is not impossible. It's just hard, okay? Look at Thorfinn, literally a weapon of mass destruction, right? He goes within himself and chooses to find peace, okay? He redeems himself through his own actions. It's not something that's going to be given to you. It's not something you can go buy. It's something you have to work for internally, and you could get there with the right works. Then it's like, okay, at the end of the show, right, they're searching for Vinland, right? The land they're going to bring the peace to and everything, and everybody's going to be happy. Here's the thing, though. Vinland is metaphoric, right? It is not a real land. It's within you. Whether you want to admit it or not, whether you realize it or not, everybody's always, all the time, if you're trying to become a better person, you're searching for your own Vinland. Okay, and this show just doesn't glamorize war. It shows the real effects from it. The people who lose their loved ones, their fathers, their brothers, etc., right? Violence always costs something. And the next one, I'm super big on with people in real life. Humanity over pride, okay? Let go of your pride. Thor's and Thorfinn both throw away their Viking honor, right? Something the rest of the world looks greatly upon. They know the truth within. They let go of all of that because they know the real source of humility. And then wisdom comes from reflection. It shows it doesn't just come with age. Thorfinn didn't get there because he aged. He get there because he reflected within. Everything was taken away from him, right? And he's left on the Danish farm by himself, just to stew in his thoughts and everything else. And he finds the truth on his own. It has nothing to do with age, right? Even people in real life, sure, you might make the argument they get wiser as they get older, but that's not because their age is going up. That's because they're learning from their mistakes. They're reflecting more and more as time goes on, and they learn the truth about themselves. And here's a big one, right? Every generation, okay, you have kids, their kids, is going to repeat the same actions you're doing, right, until they learn better, okay? Look at Thorfinn, bro. His father, he looked at him like the greatest warrior ever. He wanted to be a big warrior. He wanted to thrive in bloodshed, okay? That's something he wanted to do because he was taught it, right? He just repeats what he knows, you understand? Until he learns for himself. Same thing in real life. If you're doing something, guess what? You're doing it out in the open, right? Your children are going to do those things too. So are their kids and their kids and their kids until one of them learns, okay? That's why you have to be the corrector yourself for future generations to be solidified in peace. And again, peace. Peace takes so much more courage than picking up a sword. Anybody could pick up a sword and swing it. Anybody could pick up a gun and shoot it. Anybody can meet in a parking lot and throw hands, you understand? And even if you're put in a position like that and you don't want to fight, why are you going to do it? Because of other people. Oh, there's a bunch of people around and they're going to look at me like a pussy. Oh, they're going to be saying this about me. They're going to be laughing about me. That's where you have to detach yourself from other people. You understand? And while they can laugh all they want, they're the ones who aren't right. They're not right within. You understand? You're the only one who knows that. So don't fold under the pressure. It takes so much more strength. You want to be strong? It takes so much more strength to walk away. You understand? So in the end, Vinland Saga isn't a story about Vikings or the best war. It's a story about becoming human, internal reflection, right? Something we all need to do, which is why everybody needs to watch this show, okay? And from me to you, I hope you find your own Vinland.